Putin is having a hard time continuing to make the case for invasion. After the leader of the Wagner mercenary group cast doubt on the Kremlin's central claim that there are Nazis in Ukraine, Vladimir Putin was said to be struggling to maintain consistency in the narrative he uses to justify Russia's war. The British Ministry of Defense argued that Moscow's attempts to portray its war as comparable to the Soviet experience in World War II were failing, and that the cancellation of this year's Great Patriotic War Remembrance Parade was likely due to fears of betraying the true scale of its losses in Ukraine. Wagner chief Yevgeny Prigozhin's comments questioning whether there are any Nazis or NATO fighters in Ukraine were also cited by the ministry as evidence against a recent Russian attempt to implicate the Nazis in a massacre that Moscow has previously accepted was ordered by former Soviet leader Joseph Stalin in the 1940s. Russian forces reportedly advanced on the last part of the frontline city in which Kyiv's troops remain, prompting Mr. Prigozhin, whose fighters have led the bloody assault on Bakhmut, to express concern over a looming Ukrainian counterattack. The Russian Defense Ministry called Jens Stoltenberg's prediction that Ukraine will join NATO short-sighted and simply dangerous. According to ministry spokeswoman Maria Zakharova, NATO's goal is to defeat Russia, and the alliance is keeping Ukraine motivated to fight for its survival by promising membership once the war ends. It could lead to the final collapse of the European security system, she said on Telegram. According to the Russian Defense Ministry, assault troops were engaged in battle in western Bakhmut yesterday, the last section of the Ukrainian city still held by Kyiv's forces. Although Ukrainian authorities acknowledged Russian gains in the battle for Bakhmut, they insisted they had the situation under control. Wagner mercenary chief, whose units have been leading Russia's charge in Bakhmut, expressed concern over the new units and looming Ukrainian counterattack, while Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said Kyiv was actively preparing new units that had yet to appear on the front line. In an audio recording shared on Telegram, Yevgeny Prigozhin is heard saying, "Today we are killing those who were trained in Ukraine, but the ones coming from Germany will be technologically educated. Western nations have transferred 230 tanks and 1,500 armored vehicles. Even this would be enough to pose a formidable challenge." He continued, "They'll attack. They'll come and try to tear us apart, and we have to fight back." The British Ministry of Defence has said that Russian leaders are struggling to maintain consistency in their explanation for the invasion of Ukraine, which is that it is similar to the Soviet Union's experience during World War II. The Ministry of Intelligence and Security reported that, on the 18th of April 2023, Russian state media announced the cancellation of this year's Immortal Regiment, Great Patriotic War, remembrance marches on the grounds of safety. In reality, officials probably worried that taking part would draw attention to how extensive Russia's recent losses have been. Russian President Vladimir Putin's justification for attacking Ukraine is that it is home to Nazis, but Wagner Group owner Yevgeny Prigozhin has publicly questioned whether there are actually any Nazis in Ukraine. Authorities in Russia have persisted in spreading divisive myths about that era in an effort to bring the population together. On 12 April 2023, the state news agency RIA Novosti reported unique documents from the FSB archives implicating the Nazis in the murder of 22,000 Polish nationals in the Katyn massacre of 1940. In reality, the NKVD, the forerunner to the FSB, was at fault. In 2010, the Russian State Duma passed a resolution condemning Stalin for his role in the purges. The highest official in the part of Ukraine that Russia annexed has confirmed that air defense systems have been activated. Over Crimea, air defense forces were active. 0 casualties and 0 damage. Sergei Aksyonov, the official, issued a statement via the messaging app Telegram, urging people to remain calm and trust only trusted sources of information. He did not reveal that the air defenses were directed against or the location of the military action.